How you doing? Let's talk with Yolanda. How you doing today? Happy Friday. Happy to be here. Happy to have this platform and to be here with you. Be here with you and to collaborate. It's a little brisky out today. I did go out and get a little bit of that air, just a little bit. How y'all doing today? Can we talk? Today, I have a topic that I would like to share with you. Exposure to trauma with the pandemic. I hope you did your breathing exercise, but I'm going to do a few real quick because this is a heavy topic. So yes, I got my candle going on. Today I have emerald water. That's what I'm talking about. I have emerald water just for the aroma, just for a relaxation, and because the topic is so hot. How y'all doing today? Hey, Delia, what's up? So today we're going to just do a few breathing exercises quickly to get us started because the topic can be kind of heavy. So we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm going to go to 3 and hopefully you're doing it with me. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, last one, inhale, inhale the positivity, all the love, and exhale all of the toxic. Let's get started. How you doing, people? How you feeling today? Today, we're going to talk about exposure to trauma and the pandemic. It's been a year. It's been a year since this pandemic has plagued our country, our universe. You know what I mean? It's been a year, and trauma, whether you were suffering trauma prior to this, I'm sure that this has escalated your trauma. So today, I just wanted to touch bases on it, and I will be doing a follow-up in the next couple of sessions with it. So we're going to get deep into it, talk a little bit about the behavioral definitions of the trauma, whether it's traumatic stress, whether it is a crisis that was trauma to you, whether it was childhood trauma, whether it was a relationship, whether it was domestic violence. During this time, hey, Lane, what's happening? I got Georgia in the house. Whether it was a domestic relationship and during this time of the pandemic and isolating in the house, the numbers has risen, okay? Whether it was trauma from dealing with a crisis or a crisis that you couldn't deal with and there was some suicidal ideations, okay? Because that's prevalent right now in this day and in this time, okay? So this is a reason that I talk about the different fears, the different stressors, so that we all could be on the same page and we all can hold each other's hand and we can be that village to pull all of us along, okay? How you doing, people? How are you? Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the time to give me some of your time, okay? So let's talk about intrusive, distressing thoughts or a image that recalls the trauma event. Pretty heavy, people. Your trauma is real, and if it's real to you, it's real to me, okay? The pandemic alone can be trauma for people. The pandemic alone could be trauma for people because a lot of people have lost people during this time. Self-disclose, I have lost my loved one, okay, during this time of this COVID. It's like when you go to take somebody to the hospital and you take them in, you thinking you're coming back to pick them up, but you never imagine that you're coming to pick them up in a body bag. You know what I mean? That's trauma. That's trauma big time. However, it does take a village, and you can't stay stuck there, okay? You have to be able to find where that rope is and try to pull on the rope, or ask for help and have people pull you along. Remember when we talked about grabbing your hand and pulling you along? Because trauma is real. Trauma is real. And it's something that I wanted to just touch bases on today. We will be doing a follow-up in the next couple of sessions because, again, it could be, if it wasn't domestic violence, it could be a relationship. It could be a relationship that's going north when it should be going south. It could be a relationship going south when it should be going north, okay? And it's trauma. It's trauma because no one wants to be alone. And then during this time of this pandemic, you got to deal with that. You got to deal with trying to be safe. You ain't really trying to deal with a relationship. What's going on? Is this going to survive? You're trying to survive yourself. How you doing, people? Can we talk? It's Friday. So I wanted to bring this topic to you. Today is Friday. I have my cup of tea. I have red clover tea. And I actually have this cup. A friend of mine, shout out to you, Drina Davis, gave me this cup when I was moving into my place and I was having a housewarming. And the meaning, it was like, it's a coffee cup, but I have my tea in it today. It says coffee in one hand, confidence in the other. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a sip. This tea tastes so good. I think it gets better every time I make it. Yeah, so how you feeling today, people? Share with me. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling? I know we have people that's tuning in from Georgia. We have people tuning in from Florida. We have people tuning in from Alaska. We have people tuning in from Germany. We have people tuning in from New York. We have Philly in the house, where this is where I'm from, and all over different places, New Jersey. So I say thank you for giving me your time, and for us to be able to talk about these topics, okay? So we want to talk about disturbing dreams. We want to talk about if you're having disturbing dreams that is associated with any of the traumas, whatever trauma you may be having, we want to talk about the intense distress when exposed to remind you of that trauma. Can we talk about it, people? Can we talk about it whether you're sleeping and you wake up in a night sweat? And, no, it may not be hot. No, it may not be menopause. It may be trauma. And it could be trauma that is suppressed. It could be trauma from a childhood. You could have had multiple losses. And it become a trauma. Okay? Can we talk, people? How you doing today? Sleep disturbance, trying to get to sleep. That's called that that sleep hygiene. But when we talk about that, is your sleeping off? But is it off because you go to sleep all different times? Or is it that you go to sleep at a certain time? Hello, how are you? Hey Angela, how you feel? Is it that you're normally in bed between 9 and 11, or maybe 8 and 12, or maybe 11 and 2? But now, your sleeping is just totally off. And you're just not sure why, You're really not sure why. How you doing, people? Can we talk? Trauma is real. Trauma is real, and trauma is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. But trauma can be so many different things, but it's real. It's real, and unless we identify it, we're just putting on top of layers of different things, different facets, where the pandemic, the isolation, the social distancing, the maybe domestic violence, maybe loneliness, maybe growing old, maybe lost my job, maybe don't have a home. All of these factors can be trauma. Can we talk about it? How y'all doing today? So, we want to talk about some of the symptoms. We want to talk about symptoms, whether it's irritability. Irritability is a big one. Mood swings. Your mood's going here, there, and everywhere. Anger. I'm angry. Or I'm angry and I don't even know I'm angry. But my persona gives off, my personality gives off that I am angry and I am not sure why I'm angry, So it's a big one. Lack of concentration, It's like people tell me that people that's had COVID that survived it, sometimes, their mind is in a brain fog, and they can't concentrate. But some people haven't been affected with the COVID personally to have the symptoms within themselves, but can't concentrate. Sometimes you can't concentrate because there's so much stuff you have suppressed, that you need to talk about it. You need to talk about it because a lot of it probably don't even belong to you. It's about emptying that cart. It's about moving some of that stuff off that plate and having just what you need. How you doing today? How you doing, people? Can we talk? Okay, let's talk about these symptoms. If these symptoms persist more than 4 weeks or more, there's a problem. There's a problem. This pandemic has been around. It has been around for a year. So they say, it could have been around longer than that, and it's just not documented, So the trauma could have been a part of that, but then again, the trauma could be so many other factors, okay? So, we want to just talk about them, and we want to be able to face our fears. We talked about this in the beginning. We talked about fear. We talked about stressors. We talked about anxiety. We talked about anxiety 1, 2, and 3. We talked about grief and loss. We talked about depression. We talked about associative disorder, depressive disorder, We even talked about postpartum a little bit. We talked about major depression. We talked about separation of anxiety and separation with depression. So we've talked about a lot of different topics, and now we're talking about trauma, and a lot of that coincide with trauma. How you doing, people? I hope today you have something to drink. If you don't mind, I'm going to take another sip. This stuff is really good. It's, again, my tea. I hope you have your tea, your coffee, your water, your milk, whatever it is that relaxes you and is good for you. That's delicious. This candle smells good. I want to talk about, I've had these candles the last 3 sessions beside me being out by the water. And what I meant to say, and I got cut off and I didn't finish my sentence, what I was going to say was, I got these candles from Bath and Body. They're normally like $25. They were like on sale for $15 a piece, and they still have some. They have an array of different fragrances, and it smells good. And we talked about the session before last. We talked about the 5 senses. We talked about the smell, sense. We talked about the taste. We talked about the sight, we talked about the hearing, and we talked about the feeling, you know. So in your home, it is important to be able to find something that relaxes you. You know, I asked you if there's things that you would like me to talk about sharing with me. How y'all doing today? And I wanted to even share right before we end today, you know, I was talking with someone, actually she's a family member, and she was telling me, you know, she liked it, the live, but she was also saying that this is a time for her of grief, but the different things that she's done so that she doesn't get overwhelmed and she doesn't get traumatized. So, you know, she asked me to share, shout out to you, cousin. She asked me to share that you can go on YouTube and you can be creative. And you can go where she said she has picked up making flower pots, and she told me that if you go on YouTube and just use your imagination, be creative, and whatever it is that you think can take you to a happy place, a peaceful place, you know, we're all in this together, you know. And if someone have different ideas that they can share to help somebody else walk through, that's just like pulling that rope, you know. You can DM me, you can actually write it in a comment. Someone else may see it and may want to feed off of it. So, you know, what I want to say is trauma could be in so many different forms. Today, I wanted to basically just touch bases on trauma. And hey, Darlene, how you doing? I just wanted to touch base on trauma so that you can know that you are definitely not alone. We are all in this together, because trauma, for the most part, has hit everyone's life. But to what extent? Okay? Trauma could be just something that, you know, again, being in an abusive relationship, you know, whether it is physically, whether it is mentally, whether it is just toxic period. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're not going to go real deep into the trauma today because I just wanted to kind of bring it in, let you know where I'm going. If you would like to go along with me, I would love it. And these are the things that we're going to be talking about, and we're going to get in depth with it. I also want to say that it has been a year since the pandemic, and I want to say, to all the frontline workers, I thank you, because these people have put their lives on the line in so many different ways to save us, talking about a village, okay? I also want to bring to the forefront that this is Women's Month of March, okay? Talking about empowerment, talking about being resilient. And I just want to throw out a few positive role models to open the door for our next generation and generations to come after that, like Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States. That's what I'm talking about. Commissioner Danielle Outlaw, Philadelphia Police Department, power. Sheriff Rochelle Bilal of Philadelphia. And Jennifer King, NFL. Okay, first black female coach. I'm talking about the sports baby. Yes. But I can't not talk about the black consortium, the doctors that have not only are giving the shots now, but has opened a pathway and took the testing of the coronavirus into communities that people wasn't going in. Putting their lives on the line. Having marathons around the clock. Talking about some strong, powerful stuff. That's what I'm talking about, people. So, I want to basically say that, again, before we close out, trauma is real. Trauma could be a crisis. What is a crisis to you is a crisis to me. Because I can't tell you that it's not a crisis. I can't tell you that it's not trauma, But again, sleeping, if that sleeping hygiene, if you are sleeping and you normally get up every day and go on about your day, but if you are sleeping lately and you find yourself, just sleeping most of the day, it could be a problem there. Or if you feel like you're not sleeping, could be a problem there. Again, if there's a relationship that you need to balance or center yourself. It's a pandemic. We already got the negativity stuff with all this toxic energy of this virus, hurting us, hurting our families, taking our loved ones. We don't need to be in no toxic relationship. Because life has a lot of stuff that is thrown at us right now. Whatever you don't need, let it go. It's important before, I get ready to close this out. It is very important to have boundaries. It is very important to have clear boundaries, okay? It's a part of keeping yourself centered, keeping yourself centered. It is important to be spiritual, pull on your beliefs. It is important for you to, at this point, be vocal. Some people are extroverts and some people are introverts. sometimes you got to step out your comfort zone. Sometimes you got to step out your comfort zone, and maybe you as an introvert, you want to be a little bit of an extrovert, and ask for help if you need the help. If you have trauma, whether again it's PTSD, whether it's just childhood trauma, all kind of different traumas are associated with trauma. If you feel as though that you do not want to talk to your support system, if you feel that you don't want to talk to nobody because you say, oh, I don't want nobody to know my business. Okay, that's fine. Pick up the phone. There's professional people that can give you help, so that you do not have to suppress this. You can walk and you can hold your head up high and be the best person that you're meant to be, okay? You may just have to open that door a little bit and let somebody in. So, I want to say, again, to all of the frontline workers, it's Women's Month, but it's not a gender thing because the first line workers are of all genders. And, your role is so, so important. And it helps to keep a lot of lives, So I say thank you. I say I appreciate you. I say thank you for being there doing the work that you do, because you're valued. You're important. We are all valued. We're all important. But you go out and you put your life on the line to save a lot of other lives. That's power. That's rich. That's stuff money can't buy, people. How you doing? Can we talk? I have a quote today. The quote that I have is short and simple, but it's nice. It says, joy is not in the things, it is in us. Richard Wagner. What do you think? That's what I'm talking about. So how you doing, people? I hope that this topic was not heavy. I tried to mix it up, bring different things in it so that we can go slow. I can meet you wherever you're at and not just like throw a lot of stuff at you at one time, but throw enough that you can breathe in, breathe out. Take time to think. Sometimes take time to center yourself. Take time to be grateful for your gratitude, So, we're getting ready to end. Hope you had something to drink. Hope you have a peaceful environment that is conducive to you. Hope that doing this platform, you get something out of it. If you don't, it's okay. If you want to share it with someone else. If you need help, pick up the phone and get the help, or share it with someone that you can get the help. Again, before I go, I want to say that if you have insurance, you could always look on the back of your insurance card. Most of the time it says members service members, or member service has a number, and they will actually get you the different services that you need. Or right now, a lot of clinics are doing telehealth. So if you have a fear or you don't want to be in a crowd, a lot of places are doing stuff from home. So you can have the services that you need, okay? But don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to have a social network, okay? I'm going to get ready to end for today. I appreciate you so much. I want to say, please hug yourself. Love yourself, love your neighbor, and be good to self. Be good to someone else, whether it's just a kind word, of lending a hand, because we are the village and we can pull. And again, we can pull each other. If you see some signs that's going on with a person that is not their norm, then it's okay to say something. It's okay to say, hey, lately I noticed that you haven't been looking too good, because they may just need that and it may help them get to the next level. God's will. I will see you next week. I'm going to take us out with this breathing because, if I open you up, I want to close you up a little bit. So on 3, I'm going to do 5. Do as many as you can. Inhale. You can inhale the love and the positivity, and you can exhale all of the toxins, okay, or negative stuff, right? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Do it slowly. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Bringing in positivity. Bringing in the love for yourself, love for your friend, love for your neighbors. And exhaling all the negativity out of your life. Exhale. I'm looking forward to being here next week. If it's God's will, I will be here. We will be talking about trauma, and, having some different exercise and example of things that you can do if you are elevated with your mood, that it can decrease, okay? Take care of yourself, eat right, think positive, feel beautiful, okay? So I'm going to say love yourself, love your neighbor. Until we meet again, I'm going to say te aprecioso, que Dios te bendiga, la semana que viene, gracias. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again. See you later.